know a lot of you guys are interested in that particular program, and it really does help build relationships, and the kids get to do stuff outside of class together. And I'll talk a little bit in a second about the summer drama programs that I'll be putting together if people are interested in doing that. And afterwards, if people want to hang out, some of the kids will be up here, and the kids can play these games if they want to try some of the carnival games for entertainment value. So we set up enough chairs for all of the kids, although again, they're not out here. But do any of you guys want your kids to like go back with some of the older kids? Yeah.
These experienced babysitters.
Yeah. So I don't know if any of you guys, or do the kids just want to stay for the presentation? Is that okay? Okay, then that's fine. So Alana already did a great job introducing herself. So my name is Melissa, and I am her lovely assistant. And it's a privilege just to have so many of you guys join us today. It's so nice to see everybody here. And while most of us already, a lot of us already know each other, we've got a lot of new faces in the crowd, and we're really excited to make some new relationships and meet some new people. So the co-op's called Summit County Christian Co-op, but I might abbreviate it SC3 in like communication, just so it's a little shorter for us because it's kind of a long name. And we are really looking to network with other co-ops as well, because we all know we come from different backgrounds and we do a lot of different things, but we're really hoping to be able to continue to build some of those relationships with other co-ops. Like a lot of us come from Oaks, and a lot of you guys do dance, some people come from CC, some people do other things in art. So we're hoping to do activities that will allow all of us to continue to have that community together. And I do some private programs myself, so a lot of you guys have done, raise your hand if you've done athletic club or drama club, like, yeah, so we have a lot of people that do some of the extra things that I put together in the summer that aren't associated with the co-op, so I will get that information out to people. Athletic club usually will start probably late April, and then drama will be in the summer. I'm also doing a writing workshop, so I'm the language arts teacher at Oaks, and so I'll get information out about that too. If people want to do that, we can do some dynamic fun things for language arts, so that's something that I'll be getting out soon. And I know, we appreciate that a lot of you guys do other things. I was talking to people today, they do stuff on Thursdays, we have people who do stuff on Fridays, people do Oaks on Wednesdays, we have dance, we have art. As Alana said, it's like a smorgasbord. And sometimes too many options can be too many options, but we want you guys to think of this co-op on Thursday as something that you can mix in with your other things. It can be the only thing that you're doing, but we want you to be open to doing this and also if you had something else. So like for instance, we're gonna try to coordinate our classes so that you guys can mix and match anything that you might need. So like for instance, I was even having a good conversation with someone on the Oaks Council about them maybe wanting to send their kids to my language arts class here, if that's something maybe offered at a better time, or maybe they have a community with the other kids that are doing that. So when you look at your schedule and when our schedule comes out, we encourage you to look at it and maybe puzzle it together and say, oh, well, maybe I don't like 9 o'clock classes in general. Okay, this has a later offering and another 9 o'clock offering somewhere else. So you see, you can look at that when we get our schedule out and try and mix and match. And to that end, we would like to offer a drop-off option so that if you are doing other things but you can't commit to coming here all day, you can drop off your middle schoolers and high schoolers, but you have to make sure they can't leave the premises, they have to stay inside. We would set up safety measures to make sure that the kids aren't leaving, but that's an option too, so that you can have more flexibility to do other things that you're already involved in, but use some of the things we offer here that might be special, might just be something you want to do. And then we still would want people to serve, but if you're just going to drop off, then we would have a drop-off fee. And we'll work out all those details more later on. But what you have in front of you is the surveys that you all filled out. Those are going to be really important for us to decide our class offerings. Alena's vision originally was to have middle school and high school be our focus, but as we can see, there's so many younger kids out there. We're happy to facilitate that, but we would need families to step up, and I think Alena's going to talk more about that.
Well, because obviously, we're just 2 people. We can only do so much. So whether this gets off the ground or not is going to be dependent upon how many people we can get in. Can I mention that now? Yeah. So we need at least 10 families to commit solidly to being part of this co-op for it to get off the ground. And we would expect that, somebody from the 10 families would be able to help somehow, whether it's teaching, assistant teaching, cleaning, because wherever there's kids, we still need cleaning, right? Crumbs and stuff. That type of thing. But we're gonna need that kind of commitment very soon before we can decide whether we're really gonna be able to open our doors or not.
Yeah, so we are totally open. We have space for younger groups, for younger kids. I know we have at least one mom who's willing to do some stuff for the K through 3, there's moms who do that. So we just need, when you fill out the survey, we'll be able to tell you what we can offer for the younger grades.
So in other words, if you have a middle schooler or a high schooler who is very interested in being, and you're like, what can I do? How am I gonna do that with my little kids? If you wanna organize your little kids into like one of the first 2 rooms over there, and you can do anything with them you like. You can do music, you can do Bible stories, anything that you would like with that age group, okay? So that way you have your little kids who are occupied while your big kids are doing school. We're totally open to that. It's just that we can't teach your older kids and watch the little kids, is what I'm trying to say, okay? We would need help for that.
And like Elena is saying, it doesn't have to be strict programming. You don't have to have a curriculum. It's more kind of like what you were talking about, more organic, like back when you had younger kids. It's just more of a community. But if you want to have a strict curriculum and you want to teach it, then that is also totally fine. Just whatever people want to do. So once we collect the surveys, our goal might be a lofty goal, because we are missing, even though this is a pretty big group, we're still missing a lot of families who couldn't make it today. Once we get back everyone's feedback, we're hoping to have at least a class offering in 2 weeks, like April 3rd, which is pretty soon, but to at least give you an idea of what there is. But we can't promise any of those classes until we have registration. Because even at like other groups that I've been in, they do have a minimum, so they might offer a class, but if you only have 3 kids in it, then they won't offer that class. So it will also depend on how many people actually end up registering, and Elena had an idea about how to do that, like how to do the waves of registration.
Oh, yeah, so we're gonna have a registration fee, that's gonna be $40. But we will have a pre-registration. I don't think we talked about when that, did we talk about when that would end? But during our,
So like we said, like April.
oh, okay, so like the middle of April, if you register before the middle of April, it's $30, you save $10. Then we're gonna have our other registration, $40 going on. After June 1st, you can still register, but then it's gonna go up to $60 for late registration. So if you have a friend who's interested, it might be nice to say, hey, you wanna get in there before June 1st, because then it goes up, $20. Just not that's just to encourage, because people keep asking us, what are we doing? We don't know, because we don't know who's gonna be here, and we don't know what people want. So that's why it's really important that we get those surveys back, and then that we start getting registrations in as soon as we open it.
Yeah, so we'll try to get the class offering in 2 weeks, and about a month from now, we would look to open registration like mid-April. But on your survey, you do have a chance to tell us like maybe what you're waiting for. We talked to a mom who was here earlier, but she had to leave, and they're waiting for like another program. Their son listed to do kind of like what was it that they were doing? It was almost like
some kind of a vocation.
Like a vocation. Some of you I know are waiting for vocational programs to come through, and you don't know yet. So if you know, let's say, I'll probably know that by mid-April, you can put that on your survey, and we can see. But unless we see a lot of people saying we won't know until May 1st, we're gonna try to roll forward with mid-April early registration through April 30th, and then regular registration all through the month of May, and then June. And what we'll do is we'll be first come, first served. So we'll just do an email system. I don't know if many of you are in co-ops where they have a website that they use. That's expensive. So we're going to try and keep the cost as low as possible, especially this first year. So we're just going to let email timestamp tell us who registered first. So you'll get the laundry list. Elena has been the registrar forever, so she's a seasoned veteran.
But now we're going back to an Excel sheet, okay?
Yeah, we're going back. And so then you would just send us an email with what classes you want to put your kids in, and we'll just timestamp it. And I don't think we're going to be full. I don't think that's going to be a problem. But I don't know. You never know. We are going to keep class sizes smaller probably the first year, so we'll put that number in there. But just, it just helps us to be able to help you the earlier you can make a decision. But we don't want you to rush if you're waiting on other things. We want to try and balance those two things. So we talked about the drop-off option. We talked about that. So on the surveys, there was a part there about how you can serve the co-op. So we do ask that everybody serve in some capacity. So if you're a teacher, there you've served. If you don't want to teach, you can be an assistant teacher. We do want to have an assistant teacher in every room, so just in case the teacher's sick, we have a backup. If you don't want to do anything in the classroom, we need people to clean. But you can see the nice thing about this space is, like Alana said, it's really compact and cozy. So we don't need a ton of home monitors. We don't need a ton of people waiting around to make sure kids don't get lost, because we're right here together, which is nice. So that'll keep the positions that we need low, so that will open up again more for a drop-off opportunity if people would like to do that. So do you want to talk about like the overall cost? Because we need 10 families. Do you want to talk about the cost breakdown?
No, I think you have a better understanding. Although, she's gonna talk about what our actual costs are, but I will say, the more people we get, the less each individual family will have to pay. We can lower that cost if we have more to share in the total cost. I think Pastor Josh and his church have been very generous with us, and, you know, they first told us, you know, they met and gave us a fee, and we were like, yeah, we're not gonna be able to do that. And they said, hey, we wanna work with you. And they came back and gave us something that was much more affordable. But it'll be even more affordable the more people that we have sign on.
Yeah, and there is space upstairs if we were to get to a point where we wanted to expand. We can do it, but to keep it affordable, especially this first year, we want to try and keep that cost really low. So it's $1,500 plus, because the space was very affordable, plus we need insurance, obviously. So that's why if we can have 10 families, then that's $150 a family, which is pretty much what we spend now for our co-op, but I don't know how other co-ops compare to that. But that doesn't include, like, we would have to have people sign up for supplies and stuff, because we have to clean the space and whatnot. Toilet paper. So we would do something separate for that, but at least for like the cost, it'd be $150. But if we have 15 families, we'll partition that off as we can, although it'd be nice to have a surplus. And when we do events, we'll sell concessions and do things like that, and ask for donations, which will also put money in our coffers to be able to do more things. And my vision would be, I don't know if any of you used to belong to the old Heritage back in the day, like, you did?
No.
Yeah, it was, Jane Weta, she was the runner, and she did some amazing programs. I would love to see us do. They did a recognition night at the end of the year, which is kind of like a talent show. It was so fun. And they did, I don't know, this is lofty, but you know, they did science fairs, they did speech meets, and they did, like, it was like Elena was saying, it was more of a community. And I'd love to be able to do things like that. And one thing I was toying with what the Old Heritage used to do is they would allow people to have a social membership. So let's say you want to come here, but you're like, I don't know, we're only doing things academically, but we want to see what it's like. We could offer at a low price social membership. You could come, you could do some of the things that we do. And again, I want to open that up to everybody. I've talked to Oaks about it. I'm going to talk to some other local community things. So we could all still be like just one big family doing things together. So that's other ways that we can kind of have people involved, but maybe not, it wouldn't be as costly for them to just do that. So it's just some things that we're, you know, considering as we look down the road. As we're dreaming of all the things we could do. So we will get out to you as much as we can. But as Melissa said, we don't know yet, because you guys don't yet, and we don't know yet. So it's kind of like this big game of chicken, because we don't know what we don't know, and you don't know what you don't know. But we'll try to make registration as much as information as possible in the cost, but there will be a non-refundable, the registration fee would be non-refundable, just because we need to have
commitment.
some level of commitment before we can, so everyone else can know what they're doing next year. And the last thing, we want to talk a little bit just about our leadership, like the leadership role. I know we've had some questions, will there be a council, will there be a board? For right now, we're gonna just keep it the two of us, but we're gonna keep a pulse on you guys. We'll ask questions, we'll send out, how many people like surveys?
She's like the survey queen.
I love surveys because I like hearing my voice, like knowing people were hearing my voice. But if you don't want to fill out a survey, then you don't have to. But we want you to be heard, and if you want to fill it out, then we know what you think. So I don't think we're going to have any major issues come up that would be a big controversy.
No, but things always come up. But you know, I think everybody feels we're pretty approachable, right? Right?
Right? Right?
So yeah. Oh, you don't think so?
No, I just have some questions. So
Of course.
Maybe now
When you're
ready
ready.
for our Q&A.
Yeah, so we're going to open up the Q&A, but we just want you to know that we care about what you think and what you feel, and we're not going to stand up here as Lynn would say on Mount Olympus dictating to, to all of you what we're gonna do, and you just have to follow. We want.
And you guys might have ideas that we never even considered that would be like, oh, eureka.
It happens so much, and that I already thought of 2 ideas for today. I was like, that's a great idea. So we love people telling us their feedback, and we want to hear your feedback. So please never hesitate to contact us if you have a question, concern, or an idea. We love all of the above. So, and if on your surveys, you have those with you. If you have any other questions, if you don't really feel like staying in front of everybody, please feel free. You can write it on your survey, or if you have a question about a class.
You can email us. We have an email address, I think all of you guys know that. She also set up text line. We also have a website. How many people have seen the website? Okay, so it's Summit County Christian Homeschool Co-op and .com. And so you can, we're gonna try to keep information on that. We're also on Facebook. So there's a lot of ways to keep track of what's going on in our little co-op.
Yeah, lots of ways to stay in touch. And I do create group chats. I have to split them though because there's so many people on them. But if you don't want to be a part of a group chat, then just tell me that you don't want to be a part of it. But if you want to, it's kind of a quicker way to see things. But yes, we will open up now. Just and you kids, you guys can ask questions. You can ask more about the indoor pool and the Starbucks. We can
I want to know about the aquarium.
Free membership to the aquarium. Does anybody have, and I know Annette, you said you have some questions, and she's going to be, Annette has volunteered to write down the questions and we'll make a Q&A section, so that was a great idea. So, yes, you want to start with the question?
Yeah, do you have, like, dates and how, are you gonna run like a 12-week classes? I mean, so those are kind of things that I'm sure everybody wants to know. Are you gonna run like a 12-week fall? Is it gonna start, approximate starting would be after Labor Day, I'm guessing? I don't know if you guys discussed that
I
at
don't
all.
know that we've ever got that far. We're just trying to get this going, but,
So that's a great question.
I would love to start after Labor Day though, because I think having family do family stuff in the summertime is important. I think that's important. And I didn't really like it when my kids had to do homework and it was still summertime,
I agree. Well, that's a good question. So, Annette's question was the timing. Is it 12 weeks? Is it 30 weeks? Now, at the Old Heritage, we would go 30. But at Oaks, we go 24, and then Classical Conversations does 24, except for older grades go 30. By a show of hands, we said we value your feedback. This is proof. By a show of hands, how many of you, I'm going to ask for 24 and then 30. How many of you would prefer just 24 weeks, 12 and 12? How many would prefer 30? A child, yes. So you like 24? How many of you would prefer, when we did CC, we would do 6, take a break, and then do 6. How many of you would like to have a break in the middle? Okay, here's your options. Break in the middle versus no break, and just go 12 weeks. So how do you want to break in the middle? Really? How many just want to go 12 weeks?
Well, I think the timing depends on holidays and stuff. I know in the spring, I'm just ready for it to be done.
Okay, so
but,
it does look like you guys like 12 and 12. Now, I can't promise that I'm going to offer Spanish because right now I'm teaching 4 classes, so that's a lot. They're all high school level, so I can't do all 4. But like for a class like Spanish, I would need 30 weeks. If you actually want to learn the language, 30 weeks. So we would maybe do one-offs for like high school level classes. That might be more. So we can make that a class by class basis. If people want to do that, we can meet at my house to finish it. It just depends on what people want. But I think we're seeing people like 12 and 12. So we'll probably just keep it like that then, if that's what people.
I'm just thinking people on vacations and holidays, traveling, if they do that,
Because 12 and 12 stops you stops at Thanksgiving, more or less.
Right,
Like
that's
that.
what it kind of.
It kind of stops there. So if that's what people like, we can continue to do that. Any other questions?
Have you thought of how long you're gonna, you have a lot of classes possible offering. So are you gonna like go till 4 in the afternoon? I mean, how?
We don't know yet.
You have no clue on what you would do yet?
Who's
Okay.
gonna do what. We don't know.
So Annette's question was how long are we gonna go? Right now, the thought would be 9 to 3. But
Okay.
I'd like to make 2 classes a little bit longer. Right now, where we go at Oaks, they do 1 class that's like an hour and 15. But I know my language arts class, I'd like to be a little longer because we play a lot of games and I'd like that. But I also might want to make drama a little longer. So we'll have, I'd say, 2 extended periods, but we'll probably do the 3 core classes. So that would be language arts, history, and science in the morning. Well, we might actually toy with doing a elective in the morning, actually. Because some people like that idea of doing an elective in the morning. And then we would have 2 electives. So, and we would probably go back and forth, although if drama is really popular, we could do that both semesters. You know, we could do 2 semesters of drama. Art was really popular. My mom said she would teach an economics class where you could make things and then sell them at our shows. Part of the proceeds would go towards the co-op. Because we would need that to build back into our system. But, so it's just gonna kind of depend on, it's gonna depend on your survey, honestly. Like
Yeah, the surveys
what
are
you want.
really important.
So it's really important. And if, does anybody need a survey? Did everybody get one? Okay.
Did everyone turn it in?
And please make sure, that's actually true, because I can just see myself clutching something and walking home with it. So there's a place on the end of that table there for you to turn in your surveys. So please make sure you put as much detail in that as you can to help us. Good questions, Annette. Anybody else have any questions or comments or concerns?
Nope.
I heard a no. Already.
Well, I'll have one more.
Yes.
For me personally, because I don't know, I know a few people, I don't know a lot, because I'm relatively new to Oaks and stuff. I think it would be good to have a parents, like, night, just to meet the parents, you know.
I would love
I
that.
love events like that.
To get together, I mean, I don't know if the kids come and play or if it's just a parent thing, but I've done that at other co-ops. It's kind of nice to network with to get to know the families, and the
I like that
parents.
idea. And thank you, you brought up something else. So if for service opportunities, let's say you definitely know you need to drop off and you can't come, we could also use volunteers to set up things like that. I know at Old Heritage and at CC, we used to have Mom's Night Out. It was so fun. Like, it was nice. Not everyone would come, but it was still nice for people that could, because you would still build those communities. Or like, some co-ops would do park days, where at least once in the summer, everyone who could come could get together, so you could have your kids getting to know each other. Of course, some of the summer programs I'll do, your kids will get to know each other if you do summer drama. But I do like that idea, and if anyone wants to head up like a community, it would be really nice, again, like Elena was saying, just like the setup of this building, to be more of a community, and to be more present, although I know people have a lot of things going on, so maybe it's like, I don't wanna do that, but if you wanna do that, then the opportunity would exist for something like that. So, very good questions. We did plant a net in the crowd today.
No.
We'll pay you later.
That's right, that's right. Anybody else have any questions? I heard one kid say no, but, I mean, is there, we're good?
Well, and then you can always contact us with email, check out our website. We're gonna put, Annette offered to type up the frequently asked questions that we just had. We'll put those on the website too.
Yeah, and that information then would be present in the registration. So look for a class offering in a couple of weeks that we'll send out to everybody, and then early registration would open in mid-April unless we see like something totally different on the surveys. People just won't know by then. But if it's pre-registration, then May 1st would definitely be by May 1st, hopefully people will know where they're doing. Yes?
How do you plan on handling like class fees for, like if teachers need a fee for their class? How are they gonna set that, and how will that be?
That is a great question.
Will
So
there
she
be
asked about
class
class fees. Yes, there will be class fees. Unless the teachers just want to, shoulder all the costs, which I doubt they want to do that. Yeah, so each class will have a class fee that the teacher will charge at cost, to cover whatever they need for their class. So every class would have a fee. We're trying to figure out though, at Old Heritage, they used to just have a super bill, you paid it, and they somehow disseminated the money out. Where we are now, they have the teachers pay, collecting the money individually.
Ask what sounds better.
Well, I will in 1 second, but also the one I said, we don't know yet, because if we have smaller class sizes, that would change how we, it would be easier to do it in one way or the other. If it's a huge class, it might change how we do it, but do you guys have a preference? Would it be easier for you just to have one bill and then we pay the teachers from there, or would you rather try and pay the teachers individually? Okay, raise your hand if you want one bill, one-stop shopping. Oh, we got one.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, we have, some people don't care.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, so if you guys don't care, we would just decide based on how big the classes are. But I feel like if we could figure out how to make it one bill easier, but it would just be harder for us to try and make
It'd
it.
be harder for the treasurer that we don't have.
No, we don't have a treasurer. we're gonna be the trip. But, again, you don't know how big it's gonna be, it might just be.
You guys are a big question mark for us.
But we'll, you know, we'll touch base again and see what people want to do, but that's a good question. Anyone else? Yes, okay, well, thank you all for coming. Let's give a big round of applause for the Reverend and staff. Coming, refreshments, coffee, letting you stay safe today. We really appreciate that. And feel free to mill around. If any kids want to come up and play the carnival games, some of our actors will be up here for real, manning their stage, and they're free. Don't worry, it is free. $10 per game. So feel free to come back and hang out, and don't forget to turn in your surveys. Thank you.